What up, y'all, and welcome back to Shadowland Universes, and welcome back to Shadowland Offerings. I am DC Fago Guy. Joining me, as always, is my good friends Robbie and Gage. We made it through our first half of the schedule. We're heading fucking head first into the second half. We're already several days in, right?
Neck
At this
deep.
point,
Yeah.
And we're here to talk all about this Mission Infect month, which has taken over all of April.
Taking over my life, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you've been hard at work. Robbie got the juicy details about two classic Mission Infect albums. Those are two history episodes that I am looking forward to, right? They're being split into two?
Yeah. So we're doing the schedule right now, if you're looking at it on screen or if you've ever seen it in your life, says one Shadowland History episode dropping on 4/21. That's still coming. But by the time you've seen this, there might already be one that came out 4 question marks. 4/question marks. The number 4. Yeah, because we decided in the name of Infect Month that we would do both Extermination and Asphyxiation 2008 and 2009 Mission Infect records both this month to just make the month that much more fucking exciting and cool for the Infect fans out there in your life. So yeah, I've been talking to generals, editing day and night to get this shit out, but it's been getting me hyped for this month, I'll tell you that right freaking now. Sorry to swear.
Oh, you're fine. Just don't let it frickin' happen again.
Yeah, he went there.
But I guess before we dive into that, right? Because that's more later in this month. We should probably back it up just a hair here.
Reel it.
4/1, April Fool's Day. We got Masks and Machetes Online that dropped. Which I mean, it's been online. This is more specifically the multiplayer facet of it.
And I don't think the one player had been sort of available widely. I think it was Circle exclusive, and then now it's anybody. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not a Circle member, you are allowed to play Massive Machetes now. Online. Yeah, we did that.
Yep.
We pulled some strings.
Which is fun. It is a fun game, for sure.
It's super fun.
Yeah, I played a one-on-one.
Playing single player against a computer sucked after a while, but I'm ready to play against some humans.
It's brutal.
And I know Megs is super excited to play too. So
nice. Yeah, we're gonna I think we're gonna do an episode at some point of us playing it. Just a little fun bonus. We were gonna throw some of that into this one, but as previously stated, it has been an insane month already. So that is in the pipeline.
We are busy boys, but we'll play that, and I think the plan is to kind of do a recap of everything that has come out on this 2-month schedule, because we'll get to it, but there's music in the future that's on the schedule, and then the remixes came out, so I feel like we'll probably have a music discussion, general vibes, and jam some games, so that'll be in the future.
Yeah, these 2 episodes have been, hey, there's music coming, that's exciting, and then in the future we'll say, what was it like? But yeah, I've been getting my ass kicked by this fucking computer playing Massive Machetes one player because I have not yet joined a public lobby, but I've played a couple games just because it's the interface is really fun. I like the just seeing the different cards and the sound effects and all the stuff that they've put into it is super cool. So even though I've been getting dominated by this AI, and hey, aren't we all in these modern times? But but I've been still enjoying playing and getting my ass whooped.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a brutal experience, but it's fun to scratch that itch. I haven't been able to play the physical cards a lot lately, so having the game on the phone is super awesome. And I'm excited to, play around with the multiplayer because I haven't played with anybody yet either. So see how that goes soon.
And then,
I find the game, the mobile game, to be very immersive. Because I'm assuming, Robbie, you've probably not played the card game one, have you?
No, I own all the cards. but I've never played it.
There's nobody to play with, you know.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here alone, looking at them. So yeah, this will be a way for me to expand.
That is a little fun too, but I really like the gameplay of the online game. It's definitely fun. So being able to play with more people is great. And yeah, I think didn't we talked about potentially even full on going ham and doing drinks, right?
Oh yeah. I think we gotta when we do that episode, I think we gotta pour up some shots and
make a weekend of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
see how it goes.
That's gonna be a wild ride, and for sure we'll have to do that on a weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it because I don't quite like based on the online version. Where do the drinks come into play?
I think it's Oracle cards when they're played, like you choose if you or somebody else in the game takes a drink. And then there's also different scenarios that come up too where drinks are taken. Like I think if you tie with a card, you both have to take a drink and then re-roll.
Oh, okay.
I'm super going off of memory. It's been a hot second. But yeah, there's all that good stuff there. So
yeah. That will be fun. But that's not today. That's just, future.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Next up, we had the spring cleaning sale. Bunch of shirts I seen up there for low prices. Some designs that I think maybe were new, but were kind of brought back that I hadn't seen in a minute for the spring cleaning sale.
Yeah,
they're Slash happy. Yeah.
Happy with some vaulted designs, I assume, or like some older stuff. There was a 50% off code. I hope people got to take advantage of that because that is a crazy good deal.
50% is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was also like if you ordered that weekend, orders of like 100 or more got like an extra bonus mystery thing. So
yeah,
figure out what that is in time.
If you get it, let us know because I'd love to see a mystery item.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely comment that.
And then 410, we got Serial Killer Weekend. Now, if you're just listening audio-wise on your favorite Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places this show doesn't exist, you would not know that when I say that, I'm saying Cereal, Cereal Boxes Killer Weekend. And we got our lovely model Gage here with examples of what you can pick up, or could have picked up, I guess, by this point.
Yep.
Boom.
You got your rabbit shit.
Bunny junk.
Got your chaos crunch.
Little neon sermon.
You got your bloody bits.
That's a little. Oh, I'd say that was a Let's Get Violent era.
That's the vibe, I'd say.
Yeah.
And of course, it is Infect Month, so of course, you gotta have your camos.
Damn. Those came with real cereal inside, yeah.
Yeah, they did, and I was advised not to eat it by Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were willing to volunteer your health for that, and he was like, "No."
Full disclosure for the audience: this is Gage's set from last year, so it's definitely past its prime. Loke has advised us not to eat this on camera, which, hey, I get it. He wants his boys to be safe and healthy.
I imagine this new batch of serial killer boxes is probably going to come with a what the fuck's that thing called? Disclaimer or
I think it has just an expiration date, which is a disclaimer in itself. Nothing?
No.
Pouch or anything? I think it's good forever then.
Yeah, so why? Okay, well, I can eat it and then I can die and then my estate can sue him. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess that's a packaging error. So that's on Loke at that point.
No.
All right, everyone's serial killer boxes is now coming with a waiver. So
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna eat it, make it snappy. Although I'm sure there's plenty of preservatives. I mean, cereal.
I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, there's everything we eat is microplasticked, chemical goop. So like, what's some horrorcore cereal? Like,
yeah, it's not gonna be any worse for you than old Tricks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Or, Kicks or any of those rhyming ass cereals.
Fruity Pebbles. I'm a big fan of those.
Hey, who isn't?
Yeah. Fucking losers, that's who.
Fair point. But yeah, those were rerun 410, and hopefully you got a box. I assume they are no longer with us. by this point, but this is the recap portion. So sorry if you didn't pay attention before.
Yeah, well, you should have got him because I mean, who doesn't want to buy cereal from a masked guy who makes music about murder? Like, what's not to love?
Yeah, it only makes sense.
Yeah, definitely up there with some of the more bizarre merch I've ever bought. So
perfect for a display shelf, though.
yeah,
I'm looking up at my Oracle, Ouija board kind of thing, and thinking, oh, those look perfect, right? In front of it on the display. But hey, maybe that's for me to do on 410. Actually, that already passed. I had to cut that out.
I hope you got some.
Yeah. And then
Moving on from that,
1 week
4/17.
after that, yeah,
we got the Evil Eyes single and T-shirt.
Mhm.
The next single from what I presume is the next Batty Bat album.
that's speculi. I'm putting my hands up on that one. Don't shoot.
Well, we actually have a sneak peek of the shirt. Do we? And it's Delilah Graves. Do we mention that it's Delilah Graves?
Oh yeah. No,
No?
we can say. I was saying I don't know that it's an album coming soon, but by the time
gotcha.
this drops,
Yeah.
everyone knows the single and shirt are out. So
True.
we're
Good point.
recapping.
Yeah, but we're not.
I was just saying. I don't know if it's an album coming, but we know it's Delilah Graves. Yeah. Facts.
So
As of
Yeah.
recording, we got to be just transparent with our audience because someone has to. Not these clowns in DC. Not this DC, but anyway, listen.
Redacted.
Yeah.
yeah,
We at the time of recording, we've heard about a 30-second clip of this track
Mhm.
because it's still in production. We record a little early, but it sounds excellent. If you liked the first Delilah Graves single, Jack-o'-lanterns from Halloween time, this is in that vein, but talking about Evil Eyes. It's a kind of a poppy song, like a catchy little number. The art's great. Loke has stated that there are big things to come for Delilah Graves down the line, and I'm really looking forward to it because I think the way the project is going is very cool.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The art for the shirt is really cool. Again, like Batty's aesthetic for the merch and stuff is always just super cool, and I'm super excited to see where it goes from here. Big things on the horizon. So
Yeah. And to
the
throw
artwork on this one feels very like anime-ish too, which I think is very cool.
I was gonna say, like, for me to throw a little speculi out there to the wind, I would love like a Delilah Graves, like, I don't know, little cartoon or something. Or I wonder, like, when he says things are coming, that makes me go all over the place mentally. And like, what does that mean? Like, is there animation coming? Is there? It almost reminds me of like children's books, like old children's books characters. Like, is there like?
Cool.
There could be. There's a lot of when you're making new characters up with their unknown lore at this point. You could go anywhere with that. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. And just always, I've made it adamantly clear on this show, I think, always excited to hear new music from Batty, whether it's Batty Bat, Algorithm, Neon Sermon, Delilah Graves, whatever it is. I'm just happy to hear Batty with a mic in hand.
Hell yeah.
Well, and Delilah Graves for sure has me interested what this is going to sound like, because that snippet we got to hear was like full-on singing, which was something very unexpected for me because of the last couple singles that she released. Like Wrath was full-on screaming. What was it? Evil Garden? Was like
Broken Garden.
Broken Garden.
Yeah.
That was kind of a mix of like, not full-fledged singing, right?
Yeah,
So
singing, screaming, the best of both worlds kind of thing.
And now we've got like the flip side of that, the three elements that I think Batty really like flexes in, and now singing. Very excited for what it is, and it makes me curious because like even the T-shirt here is kind of like spooky.
Yeah, I think Delilah Graves is a spooky character for sure.
For sure, which makes me want to hope for like a project of some kind coming around Halloween, and maybe we're just going to get sprinkles of her until then.
Yeah, I mean, so far she's in a similar category, I feel like, as like Slime Squad, where like we got a couple shirts, We got a couple songs. Where's this going?
Mhm.
You know, and I'm excited to see what is to come.
I mean, I'll just echo what Robbie said. Anytime Batty's dropping new tunes for us, I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, big fan.
Big fan. And then 419, it's our day.
Hey,
This right here. Yeah.
You're
You guys
watching
are
it now.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. So if all goes according to plan, you know, we'll be talking about ourselves on that day while you're watching it, with us talking about ourselves. It's very meta, honestly, what's happening right now. So that's super cool.
You're watching this on 419. Hopefully you're all ready with your various weed stuff for tomorrow for the big day, 420.
Oh, shit.
There's more coming that day in Shadowland world, but I'm just speaking to the people out there who celebrate holidays.
And that specific one.
Yeah. I mean,
So if you are watching right now, leave a comment. We love hearing feedback. We love, even if you just want to give us praise, we try to be humble.
We'll take some.
Sometimes it's nice to just hear and see good things about us. So leave a comment.
A little
I don't
glazed.
even try to be humble. Yeah, just post. Say my hair looks pretty. I'm not gonna try to play it cool. I would love to hear that.
And so then, moving into, I think what is it? That officially, like, our offerings episode is kind of going to kick off Mission Infect Week.
Yeah.
Because looking at the very next item, 420, 421, we get to bring in Mission Infect Week.
And what is Mission Infect? You know, you might be saying Mission Infect Week. I see it here. I see all your guys' fucking shirts and charms and what the hell is that? I just found out about Batty's game streams and I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. Well,
when we start from the beginning, right? I mean, first of all, there's a very helpful thing called Shadowland History that
is true.
This guy has been working on. So, I mean, it's all lined up pretty well that we learned that Mission Effect kind of just happened, right?
It started as a street team, like kind of to promote Loki's work and the stuff he was working with at the time, and then morphed into kind of an underground super group of rappers and rappers. I don't know what else I was gonna say.
Lots of rappers. It's just a rotating carousel of the dopest, most talented people they could get, because the underground's big and there's a lot of doo-doo caca music makers. So
sure,
they were like, hey, let's get the best guys who aren't doo-doo caca music makers and put them together to make awesome music. And there have been multiple albums over multiple years and
multiple decades.
Yeah, it's been a long-running thing since the first album was what, 2007? Yeah,
nearly two decades now.
Yeah, up until I guess tomorrow, if you're watching this on the 19th. So, I mean,
let's get into that. So tomorrow is the 20th, Mission Infect Week in full force, and we're starting it in, honestly, I think the best way we could possibly start it, if I were to guess.
I would say,
with new music. I mean, we say it every time we get on this goddamn show. We're new music guys. We love music. Merch is great. History episodes are great. A lot of work. Fucking games are a lot of fun. But the music is the core of all this for us.
That's why we're here.
And the glue.
Yeah. And we got new Mission Infect. And the fun part, Gage, that you kind of were alluding to, we don't know what the hell that means. Because here's what I know. Loki's going to be on it.
Yeah.
Bad Luck's going to be on it.
Probably.
He's not missed an album yet.
So
and that's the only two that haven't, I think.
Those are the kind of the main two guys.
Core,
yeah.
When it started, it was, I mean, Loki and Bad Luck, they're kind of like the guys for sure. And then there was Gruesome is also mostly a mainstay, and then
Bones was there early on. We had Saints and a Mad Max.
Wicked One, Dirty, Dubs were later guys. Mum Ra, all sorts of different characters.
Malaria. Let's not forget
Malaria,
Malaria.
who's awesome dude on there. I'm like,
There's a lot of guys.
well, so
I
many
think
guys.
you've nailed about all of them. You're missing. Did you say dirty?
Yeah,
Green Villain.
Okay.
Green Villain.
I think you got
Psycho Jesus.
yeah,
I think you nailed them all.
and
Right?
there's like auxiliary dudes too, as well as guys who are on the main albums might step in for a feature, might just be in the atmosphere. But yeah, I mean, each series of albums, because I kind of tend to drop in pairs, it seems, has
More or less, yeah.
like a rotating cast of dudes. But I mean, just while we're talking about it, which albums are you guys' favorites? Because there's Phase 1 and 2, Extermination, Asphyxiation, Phase 3, 4, and Phase X, which was like the bonus one.
Yeah.
And then Armageddon was the most recent, and there's a remix album.
Yeah. That's a lot to that's a mouthful. Yeah.
It is.
You know what, Gage? You asked the question, but I'm gonna flip it back around on you. What is your favorite?
Uno reverse card. I'm a big fan of Extermination and Asphyxiation, but definitely Asphyxiation's a huge favorite of mine. Which we all have a mutual friend who's been down with Mission Infect since like the get. And I told him Asphyxiation was my favorite, and he thought that was he gave me a weird look. He was like, really, that one? But I don't know. I just love the vibes on that. And then it's just a really fun album. I think those guys all root in horrorcore. It's the most horrorcore one. Which, I mean, we'll be learning all about with the Shadowland history. I'm excited to hear about that because it's my favorite. And then I really like Phase 3 a lot. I listened to a bunch of them today, and I was like, man, Phase 3 is just fucking slaps.
Yeah. It's hard for me to pull 3 and 4 apart because in my head they're kind of similar to 1 and 2 in that they're kind of almost a double album. So I kind of think of them as a pair. But it's really hard for me to choose between Asphyxiation and 3 and 4. As that pair, as the shocker. Because Asphyxiation, I was there for that conversation that you're referencing, Gage, and I remember being like, yeah, that is kind of, an oddball choice, but it's got tracks, it's got, Feed the Beast, stuff like there's tracks. And then I've recently been listening to it more and more, and I'm like, I think it might be the best one.
It's real good.
It's super consistent and like feels like an album as opposed like Mission Infect tends to be just in the way that it happens. People sending tracks back and forth, and people, some tracks, some tracks have these guys, some tracks have these guys, and it gets a little mixtapey at times. I think Asphyxiation might be the one that has the most consistent lineup on the tracks, and it has like a vibe to its own that I think puts it like maybe edges it just above the rest for me. But I don't know, 3 and 4 are tough to beat.
Those are solid. And
Asphyxiation for sure feels the most cohesive for sure. Like the first full proper album.
Yeah.
And like Mission Infect tends to be more like hip hop forward. And it feels like Asphyxiation is the one where horrorcore kind of was forward, with hip hop being secondary to that. And I came in with the horrorcore, so I think the album kind of speaks to me a little bit more than that too. And that's like all those guys' superpowers. That's where they started. So it kind of makes sense that the most horrorcore one would feel the most like together in a way.
And it's got the fucking truth on it, which is such a banger. Just an insane track. Especially coming out in 2009. If you listen to that and then listen to like the other stuff those guys were doing, even solo at the time, like, especially like Saint and Bad Luck that do that hook, that is not happening on there. That I don't know where they pulled that one out of, but crazy track, which I think gives it that almost takes it to that other level. But DC, you have not yet spilled the beans. What are your favorite?
Give me them beans.
For me, it's definitely Phase 3. When I first was learning of Mission Infect, like I started at the beginning and kind of skipped through a lot, and then I went. For whatever reason, I jumped over Extermination and Asphyxiation because I felt like I had to go 1, 2, 3. When I got to 3, I was like, okay, this is definitely. And I knew there was like a 10-year gap between the the first two and those ones. Wow, just leagues forward. And one of the things that I really loved is with Anthem, like Gruesome literally started his verse damn near the same way he started his first verse on phase one, which was just crazy. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, phase three is definitely one of my favorites. The fucking march when Loke came in and said what he said in his verse, I was like, oh, okay, I know. I see what's going on here, and you can't argue with it, man. It was the way that he fucking did that, just absolutely fucking killed it. So phase three for me is definitely like kind of that notch up, but Armageddon's also like right there for me because it's really fucking cool.
Yeah, I might. Here's a little secret. I think. Well, it's a secret for a day or two, because it's going to get spoiled. Well, it's a spoiler. It's not a secret. It's a spoiler for Shadowland history Asphyxiation. But Asphyxiation was actually originally going to be Chemical Threats 3 and 4. So that is lore that I had to remind Loke of by finding some inconsistencies with the dates. But you were talking about how you had to jump to the future to get to 3 and 4 because to complete the series. But yeah, so I don't know if that puts any buckets in any fucking things or even what words I'm saying right now. But it is fun fact.
That is a fun fact. And honestly, I feel like in my own little headcanon now, like, yeah, that kind of makes sense because Extermination and Asphyxiation do feel like the proper successors to 1 and 2, even though they're not called 3 and 4. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I would love to have seen an early draft track list for like what songs were going to be on 3 and 4 that eventually became Asphyxiation. You know, like how separated they were tonally, or I don't know. I'm just intrigued by that concept because that would have been very interesting. But you know, hey, just a little lore for you. Watch Shadowland history. You get all kind of nuggets like that.
Oh, that's why I watch Shadowland history because I love that.
It's so but DC mentioned Armageddon, which we can kind of bridge to where the week officially kicks off with. Armageddon was 2023. It kind of just happened, right? There was not a lot of build up. It just dropped.
Well, 2024. It was actually March of 2024, and it was for the Mission Infect month of that year.
Okay.
Or the Mission Infect week of that year, I should say.
When the VR stuff was popping a little bit more, the Dreamwalker stuff. So it was sneaky. So what they did is they had the Mission Infect house party, Dreamwalkers event where they had people chilling, and kind of similar to like last month we talked about the Space Jam, the Neon Sermon. I keep wanting to say AI. It's not fucking AI. It's VR. Different letters. The Neon Sermon VR event, and then then they had the Mission Effect house party, which was just kind of like, hey, a bunch of Mission Effect generals. Which, if people don't know what we're fucking talking about with that, the people that are in the group refer to themselves as the Mission Effect generals. So like Low Key, Bad Luck, all those people we named. Anyway, a bunch of them were going to be in the chat hanging out for the VR thing, and then at the end of it, they put a little surprise. Played brand new music, full, Armageddon EP, and then it dropped, I think, at midnight that night. So it was just like a full-on, unexpected cherry on top to this fun event in VR.
I was working night shift when the album dropped, and so my shift was like 3:30 in the afternoon to 4 in the morning. So when that album dropped, I just listened to the album for 4 hours straight. I was so excited.
Yeah, it was definitely on loop. Which made me realize with that house party, they did it before Linkin Park did.
Did they do a house party?
Well, same year. Linkin Park had their little live stream in September of 2024, and at the end of it, they revealed that they had a brand new album. So Mission Infect did it first.
They invented it.
They did. They inspired Linkin Park.
They were in there.
You can't change my mind. Mike Shinoda was watching, and he was like, "We're doing this."
Not even watching. He was in the VR. I seen him.
He was. Little known fact: Mike Shinoda and Loke are actually best friends.
Yeah. So run tell that. But that was the last thing we got, and that was I think the fact that it's an EP in my brain makes it go like, yeah, it was very good, and not like on the same tier as the rest of them, but musically, like it's just as good as anything they ever dropped.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, they fucking brought it. Bad Luck's verse in Get Your Mask On, man, he reached into my brain and he took everything. I think he reached into a lot of people's brain and just pulled what they were already feeling and thinking about a lot of rappers these days in the scene specifically, and it was like, ooh baby, say what I'm feeling.
Yeah,
100%.
He crushed that whole EP. Like I think like Bad Luck might be my favorite part of Armageddon. Like I think that like he just came out. I mean, it'd been how many years by then? Like since I guess he had been all over 3 and 4, but nothing between those two times.
Yes, like
came
7
out
years.
Swinging. Yeah, he had 7 years of bars ready to fucking go.
Not really doing a ton musically. Yeah, just dropped it.
I think we had a couple little tastes from him because like he had Demon Inside on Metanoia.
Oh
yeah.
He would pop up with Loki every so often for sure.
Yeah, which I mean, that's honestly something else that I know it's not Mission Infect related, but it's the two like core Infect generals. Like The Cycle is such an amazing song, and you listen to that into Demon Inside, and it makes me go like, I want a whole fucking EP of these guys doing this.
I mean, that's what Metanoia was supposed to be. Was
really
going to be those two doing rock songs together, and it just didn't pan out that way. But yeah, I mean,
okay,
someday
we need Metanoia 2. Yeah. It needs to be that. Fuck. Okay.
That would be so fucking cool.
But that gets us back to 420, baby. We had all that stuff, and now, well, actually, let me step back.
I'll say take it a step back because the Armageddon was 2024. It was in the spring. Fast forward to the fall of 2024, and that's when we got the new site. The street team was revamped. Right. I forget the name of the event that they did, where they like had the launch of the site. The street team was brought back, and it was an exciting time. Like I remember jumping. That's when I bought this shirt. I was like, all right, I'm all about this.
Yeah, I mean, we were all about it. We were, street teaming, and I mean, we were like, it felt like a huge like Mission Infect is back for real. Let's do this.
It
was a moment of like, for me, like diving in, you kind of felt like you missed the party, and now you're being told, oh, they're gonna have another party, and I can go this time. It's kind of what it felt like for me.
All those old pictures of like the flyers everywhere and stuff, like, oh, I can put those there now.
100%.
And then a big part of that was that there was this looming album that, when the site launched, it was the first thing you saw was the ad for Epidemic. And then just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Kind of, the plug got pulled.
Yeah, things just started to not work out. There was, I think just it didn't go how everybody wanted it to go. It kind of crumbled and was getting disorganized and chaotic. So everything just kind of gone. And then we were like, what about that album though?
It was disappointing, but I think without that, we wouldn't have got the crazy 2025 we got with Love and Armageddon, and I mean, like, or not Armageddon, Love and Algorithm. So many projects to keep straight, but yeah. So I can't, like, now knowing what I know, I can't be upset because I don't know that we would have had the circle even without that Mission Infect thing kind of falling apart.
Yeah, and
sure, it felt like a necessary evil, I think is the phrase.
It was a
necessary evil to have it go away.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad the way that things panned out because it was Mission Infect, and then it just kind of didn't work out, and then crazy year,
boom. Yeah. So if that's what it took, it is what it is. But it's not all lost.
Nope.
420. That's like what a real cool guy does. 420, baby.
Yeah.
420
We're
we got.
finally getting that Epidemic EP, baby.
Yeah. And so what is it? Who's on it? I don't know. There was 2 singles that were released last year, Blackout and Spray
Bullets and Spray Paint.
Right. Those dropped last year. Are they on it? I don't know. We'll see. Is it all new stuff? Is it the same core guys that were on, Armageddon largely? I truly unknown, but it is exciting.
It's super exciting. And it's going to have merch too, so that'll be cool to see what the designs were. All the albums have like color schemes, and this one was like bright green. So
yeah,
that's what the merch will look like too.
And fun fact, the album cover for Epidemic, I'm assuming is going to be the same. That Infect soldier that's on the cover is actually wearing the Mission Infect mask that eventually released. So a little Easter egg for anyone that never caught that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that cover in, a year and a half or since, whenever it was popped off. So
I forgot that we saw it.
Yeah. So the whole thing is very exciting, very mysterious. You're going to find out with us tomorrow as you're watching this. We'll have to wait a little bit longer because we recorded ahead. But yeah, I can't wait to know all about that. Any guesses? What do you? I mean, when it was announced, we had a whole big, 3 and 4 level roster size, which was bigger than what we got, on Armageddon. Like a couple of those guys popped up on Armageddon, but Armageddon to me felt like Loke, Bad Luck, and Gruesome back together.
That was 4. I assume it will be those guys, and then I think Mad Max is just one of the strongest spitters around, but especially in Mission Effect. So I love when he pops off on Mission Effect. I hope Dirty and Dubs comes back too. They're some of the later editions. I love those guys rule. So I'm hoping it's those core 3 with Max, Dirty, and Dubs.
And the Blackout single that had come out, that I think was originally intended for the record, so it might still be on it, was Loke, Dubs, Bad Luck, and Zero. So
Zero's good too, yeah.
I
hope he pops up in there too.
Yeah. And Dubs is so rare these days. Like any music from Dubs is so rare these days that if he's on there, I'm gonna love it. If he's not on there, I'm gonna love it anyway. But that's like a wish list for me.
Yeah, we're just
I feel like he probably would. I know on Gruesome's Locker, which was an EP that you could only get if you physically bought it from Gruesome, it had a track on there called One Way Out. It featured Dubs and Low Key. It was mainly Dubs on the chorus. So like even if he's just doing the hooks, I would rather have him on a verse, but I feel like that's not out of the realm of possible. So, and I remember when I didn't do a review for that album, but I kind of talked about it in a video. And Loke actually had commented that track was originally supposed to be on Armageddon, but he preferred it better on Gruesome's Locker. So for whatever reason, that track didn't make the cut. So there's probably other tracks out there that didn't make the cut for Armageddon that could potentially be on Epidemic.
That'd be cool.
We'll see. We're deep in the fucking speculi portion of this episode, baby. That's what you come here for.
I mean, a little bit of hopes there too.
Yeah. And then we talked about it a little bit already, but the next day, 4/21, I'm not dropping it. I'm just sending it to Loki, who will drop it. Shadowland History episode number, that'll be 9. It says 8 on the schedule, but we snuck a secret one in there. Asphyxiation. Yeah, I'm talking to Loki, Bad Luck, Malaria, and Saint Senna. For these Mission Effect ones, we're trying to get, more guys on them to kind of give their perspectives, and it's been a lot of fun because you can kind of they jog each other's memory, where it'll be like, oh, this guy said this, and they'll be like, that is a funny story, let me tell you about it. So yeah, I got all those guys on there talking all about history of asphyxiation and that stuff, about it originally being 3 and 4 and having the kind of same color scheme, fire and ice vibe as the 3 and 4 ended up having, but just almost 10 years earlier. So
hell yeah,
very cool.
Get to learn all about that one. And what better time than Infect Week?
That's the shit that I love about the history series. That's why I'm so fucking glad that it is happening.
yeah, happy to be of service. No, I love it because it's the kind of shit that I've been digging on the internet in web archives for fucking however many years, just trying to like find little scraps of information and connect dots and stuff. And so being able to just sit down with the actual guys that made it and get the stories and kind of piece it together in a video for people is like, to me, it's getting to make a thing that I always wish existed. So it's very rewarding in that sense.
You get to be the change you want to see in the world.
Exactly. And you know what? You can too. Just get really obsessed with something with easy access to the people that do it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Go find a niche thing and dive in.
Yeah. So then 422 is the art series. Don't forget about the Shadowland Gallery that I called a digital museum last episode because that's what it is. So art series, I assume it'd be like fan art and maybe like...
Actually, I know what it is.
You do? All right, fill us in, because...
Yeah. So if you are familiar with Chemical Threats 1 and 2, there was an art series that originally came with the albums when you downloaded them. So it was like a zip drive, I assume, of the 2 albums and then a series of artwork that was made by a guy, I believe, named Antti from Finland. I am totally just pulling that from my interview with Loke for the Chemical Threats 1 and 2 video.
Yeah.
But it's like the cover and like stuff you'll see in that style that are used for promo graphics and stuff. It's a whole series of art this guy did that came with the album at that time. So for 422, what they're doing is posting all that original art for the first time. It's been seen, you know, in one place since 2007 on the gallery to look at. So that's pretty exciting.
That's very cool. That's very like Meteora. I love it.
Yeah.
So cool.
If you can't tell from watching this, the 3 of us have been listening to a lot of Linkin Park.
Yeah. We're gonna have to start another podcast for that.
we did a lot of history diving on Linkin Park too, and like knowing that, and it's just so cool. Like, be a big fan of that group, be a big fan of Low Key, and by proxy, Mission Infect, and just to see so many cool similarities. It's so fucking awesome.
Yeah, real Galaxy, DC Galaxy brain shit going on.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
man,
like
my
that.
fucking
That's like
mind
that.
is. Well, I mean, because I had the thought too of how Meteor and Metanoia are kind of alike, and they both have actual meanings to what the albums mean, and it's so fucking cool. I love it.
424 is mysterious because if you look at the schedule, it is literally just a series of question marks. How many? Maybe that's a clue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 question marks. So do with that what you will.
Question marks. We don't know what's happening. All we know is, and I quote from the man himself, it'll sizzle our nut hairs off.
Yeah, which
I mean, since he said that, mine have been slowly sizzling. It's like they're already preparing for it,
like a cartoon stick of dynamite.
Yeah,
just like the wick.
Yeah,
I do a lot of nude sunbathing in extremely hot areas, so it's just a natural occurrence of just my day-to-day hobbies. But when it's produced by question mark content, boy, is that even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't know what this is, so that's why we're talking about
nut hairs.
Yeah. But I don't know. See, the thing that makes me a little not confused, but like opens up my speculation in a way that I do not have answers, is that we are already getting music. Like 420 is music. So that would be my first guess, is like, oh, maybe it's another surprise, you know, because like Armageddon came out surprise style. So maybe that, but then it's like, no, that already happened 4 days ago. I don't see a world where there's 2 new musics 4 days apart. That just seems wild.
I mean,
which crazier things have happened. I mean, you know, Chemical Threats 1 and 2, Chemical Threats 3 and 4, not impossible.
Yeah. And I'm a greedy little piggy. I would love extra music. But yeah, I mean, who's to say? And like, there's even a game, spoilers, coming out too. So I'm like, what would be so big and mysterious that it would like require such a big surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's like a remix of some sort. Maybe
Like airdrops too.
airdrops too could be. But I mean,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, looking at the back half of this schedule, the previous month, they had the Rewind to Space Jam. Are we potentially going to have something like that? Is it going to be like a new performance where maybe they're going to do something again through VR? Maybe not VR.
Possible.
Maybe they're going to do it live on Twitch.
that'd
Do
be
Not
something like
impossible.
that'd be pretty fucking sweet as well. I'm with you guys though. I would love new music, but I just don't see that happening. I know ever since I found out that Armageddon was originally going to be a Bad Luck, Low Key, and Gruesome EP that just kind of morphed into what it is. There's that part of me that's like, ooh, like I would still love for that to happen at
Mhm.
some point.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
you know, who knows what's cooking, what's sizzling. But if I was to take a shot in the dark, that's my shot in the dark. Is maybe it's something similar to Rewind to Space Jam because they kind of land similarly on the schedule.
And there was that
But-
Infect House Party, and that's kind of why I'm thinking similarly as I'm looking at the schedules next to each other, and I'm like, well, that's the same line item.
Mhm.
But that would be like the Infect House Party, which wasn't performance based. It was just them like hanging out. So it'd be a weird thing to re-release unless they did it again. How but I mean, you'd think you'd want to promote that ahead of time so people show up to it. So I don't know. My hands are up. I am clueless on this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll relaunch the Street Team too. Try that again with could be with like tighter parameters with the circle, but I guess we'll just have to find out together.
Airdrops 2 is not a bad idea, though. I feel like that's not
That's a
out
great
of
guess.
the realm of things that I could see being possible.
Yeah,
That-
especially with Loki being in like remix era.
Oh,
Yeah.
like fucking drum and bass, jungle ass MI remixes. I wouldn't be opposed to hearing a couple of those.
That would
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
So
I'd be down.
anyway, question marks. I don't know. TBD. We'll get back to you.
Mhm. But then,
Ending off Mission Infect month, ending off April on the schedule. We got the Infect Planet 8-bit game, which, again, who the fuck is making 8-bit games in the underground? Low-key, that's who. We got Chaos Control last month. We're getting fucking Infect Planet this month. Every single one of us were way wrong on our guesses for Chaos Control, which I think we kind of landed on Space Invaders. It was not Space Invaders. I'd say it was
No.
a lot closer to Mega Man. So Infect Planet, part of me wants to think maybe it's almost going to be like Chaos Control, but different.
Yeah,
But
the
my hands are
shooting,
officially up on that one.
shooting and guns to me, Mission Effect, shooting and guns.
yeah,
But that's similar to Chaos Control. I don't know. For what it's worth, I've been loving Chaos Control. I have logged some time on that because we've talked about how I am not a video gamesman. These newfangled games you kids play, I can't wrap my head around them. They're too involved. But Chaos Control, a nice little 8-bit thing. I've straight up played that a bunch because I can just scroll through, shoot guys, hear some cool fucking soundtracks. Oh, that is a thing I didn't even think about till just now. But the Chaos Control 8-bit game, the music to it was all kind of like MIDI 8-bit versions of Neon Sermon songs. So we're gonna get that for Infect.
oh,
yeah.
That's
So
exciting.
which tracks? Ooh, that's a good speculation.
Yeah,
so
I don't
cool.
know. Frontlines is right top of mind for me.
Stab you. That would sound interesting. 8-bit.
yeah. Man, I'm blanking on song titles. There's so many of them, but I mean, tons of bangers.
Oh yeah.
That'd be so
Yeah.
cool. I'm sure there'll be a ton of them. Yeah, I liked the Chaos Control a lot. Did you guys ever play like games on Newgrounds, like web server
A little bit, yeah.
games?
I don't even know what that is. So that's annoying.
It kind of reminded me of that. It was like an old. It was
a
like
website.
not quite pre-YouTube, but around that time. It was like
Yeah,
videos and like a lot of animation and like indie
I think it
games
was pre YouTube
pre-YouTube.
by
yeah.
a couple years. Yeah,
like that's where Edmund McMillan got his start, who did Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac and stuff. So Chaos Control kind of gave me vibes like something I would have found on Newgrounds back in the day. So
yeah, totally.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did kind of remind me of like addictinggames.com. I don't know if you guys ever visited that site.
Yeah,
that's one
similar vibe.
Visited a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna put my hat in the ring and say I want Get Your Mask On 8-bit.
Oh yeah,
that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And the character select, I mean, if like in Chaos Control, we had obviously Loke, Batty, and Crux, but are we gonna get like a 25 dude character select of like?
So what was the mode on Chaos Control? You play all three of them?
Yeah, it's Chaos mode.
Yeah, could you imagine that for Infect and it's got everybody?
No, that's too insane.
This sounds awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Like a fighting game, and then you just choose different generals to beat the shit out of each other.
That sounds incredible. Like a Street Fighter. I mean, I know fucking Bad Luck is obsessed with Mortal Kombat, so.
I mean, yeah.
God, if Loke could build a Mortal Kombat with Mission Infect generals, that would be fucking crazy. But now I'm getting my hopes too up. Like, all right, let's scale it back.
A little complex.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could even see it, going back. I mean, it's not quite 8-bit, but like early Doom. That would be a cool kind of concept for a game,
that
too.
Would be cool.
First-person shooter.
My hope is at the very least we're giving him ideas for future games.
Yeah. Yeah, we can use these. These are like 1 part speculation, 2 parts Loki. Just take the ideas.
Yeah. Half speculation, half wish list.
Yeah.
He watches these before he puts them out. He's got Batty in the background with a notepad. All right, write that down.
That's a good one. That one's bad. Don't do that one.
Yeah.
All right, put that one on the whiteboard. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, exciting month, exciting week. I mean, the stuff that's already happened has been great, and like the stuff that we haven't seen yet. I mean, I own this sweatshirt, So, but that I'm a big Mission Infect guy. I love that shit. I love posse cuts. I love big groups where there's, different guys on different tracks, but it's all one thing. Like I'm an old fucking Wu-Tang head, so like, yeah. The Mission Infect's always been a huge part of what I love about the general low-key and adjacent world. So I'm super excited for all this craziness to unfold. And I'm really excited for people to see these Shadowland history videos because they have been really like involved. Like getting, talking to 4 guys for one video and stuff is new territory for me. So it's already gotten me hype for Infect Week, and I'm just ready to fucking live in it with everybody.
Yeah, let's give it a round of applause for Robbie for taking on so many guys like that.
Well, yeah, I've been taking on a lot of guys, and you can clip that and put it wherever you please.
No, for real though, I always appreciate the history episodes. So if you're watching this, make sure you head over and watch a history episode and leave fucking love for Robbie, because that shit is just, it's great to see it. It's great to get the tidbits and learn the history, and I know the amount of fucking work that's got to go into editing that shit, and hats off to you as always.
Yeah, it's a lot of editing. It's a lot of editing.
I joke all the time, you viewers watching. I joke all the time with Robbie that I'm just gonna force him to edit these videos too because of how much work he puts into the history.
Man, I would be unable to keep a job. It's crazy. I can do this with my day job as well. So yeah, but no. DC does a great job with these, and I appreciate having one project that I don't have to edit. So
there you go.
Happy to oblige.
And that's been April, gang. We'll be back next month, maybe with more than one thing next month, because we got a couple banked ideas. We're going to talk about. We haven't even touched on the Neon Sermon remix EP. Epidemic's coming out. We got to discuss these games more, so we'll be back with some review content and a fucking game of Master Machetes for you.
Hell yeah!
There you go.
It's gonna be fun.
We don't really have a sign off. Like until next time, keep it shadows.
Yeah.
During
the recap, we're getting fucking drunk, so come with us.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not gonna be able to watch it live, but while you're watching it, you can play along.
Yeah.
I thought of a fun sign off. Why don't we just put that one in the offering plate Boom.
Whoa. Boom.
Oh,
and that's
I like
another
that.
one in the offering plate.
There you go.
Yeah. And say it however you want. We're workshopping things here, gang. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
DC, sign us off. I'm not
And
stealing
this
your
offering can't get any better.
can't get any more Shadowlandy.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Okay. Bye.